A pleasant day to each and every one of us. Now, we're going to discuss our topic entitled Protocols for Presiding, Moderating, Facilitating Meetings, Focus, Group Discussion, and etc. So, we are a group 2, and my colleague in this group are Irene Badinas, Katrina Banzuela, and Miss Angelica Baginbin. So, first and foremost, I would like to discuss the significance of our topic in social work study and practice. So in this context, facilitation can help group improve how they work together, identify and solve problems, make decisions and handle conflict. The role of the facilitator and the social worker is to guide the group to work together more efficiently by creating synergy, generating new ideas, and arriving at consensus and agreement. Meeting and group discussion is very important in social work practice because we recognize community development as we work with individuals and groups of people. It is important also the communication skills in this modern age. So, second, I discussed the how applicability on the phenomenon or practices we have here in local. So it is very applicable here in local because nowadays we have so many social issues and concerns that need to be discussed to many. Through meetings, discussion, and forums, people become more well informed and become educated about the social issues. It is also opportunity to people to participate and provide input. So, to begin our discussion, to continue rather our discussion, I discussed the facilitating a meeting. So first, I discussed what is facilitate. So facilitate is to make or is a process, and what is facilitator? So a facilitator plans, guides, and manage a group event to meet its goals. To facilitate effectively, you must be objective and focus on the group process. That is the ways that groups work together to perform tasks, make decisions, and solve problems. Good facilitation involves being impartial and steering the group to start so that its ideas and solution flow. So, yun po yung facilitate and facilitator.
One, the motivational speaker, sometimes hard to start of a workshop, brilliant presenter, smooth communicator, knowledgeable on a specific topic, has written a few books, nice title, and a great track record that includes the president. Delivers a compelling presentation that gives you goosebumps. This extraordinary human being tells existing stories that inspire group participants. Sometimes he's hired as a facilitator, but she battles not to provide content. 2. The lecturer, part of the consulting company or academic institutions, provides good content but battles to separate process from content. Instead of facilitating process, he trains participant in a topic, then lets them work out the content themselves with little process support. Window provides a support on workshop result is contains many models, some of which are foreign to the client. He adds value as an expert contents provider but battles to facilitate processes without getting too involved in the answers. The do-it-yourselfer, the manager who chooses to facilitate the session himself, nothing wrong with that, but the battles of managed content and process, especially if the encounters resistance with regards to content. Sessions become a talk shop with minor result and frustrated participant. 4. The program director introduce speaker and facilitate question and answer sessions. He also keep time, no real process to workshop on and no result other than collecting and presentation slides in the report after the session. But merely cheering the proceedings, it is difficult to understand why clients would use an external facilitator for this job. Anyone with chairperson will pull this off successfully. 5. The get them to talker views his facilitation role as getting the participant to talk. Somewhere at his back is a scribe trying to capture the issues of this talk shop. Nobody sees that what is being documented. This type of facilitator has no idea what the output of this discussion should be. As long as participant talk, he thinks he is on course in achieving, when in the fact the workshop is hiding nowhere. Number 6, the strategist. He markets himself as a strategist or strategic planner. He forced the client to fit into a model he endorsed instead of adapting to client needs. He is a good public speaker and presenter but battles to facilitate a process that is not in tone with his model. He comes across as a content expert and adds value in that regard but in no other way. He is similar to a consultant with a pompous title because everyone knows the real strategist and strategic planner are. Number 7, the expert. Occasionally, a client would say, I need, for example, is an agricultural health, what have you. Expert to facilitate the process. Such an expert face the challenge of remaining content neutral. He should be providing content as a participant or presenter during the workshop, instead of facilitating the workshop process towards agreed output. Number 8, the practical workshop facilitator. The practical workshop facilitator support the client. He is understand the participant are the decision makers, the strategist and strategic planner, the content owners. He understand the output or deliverables of to be achieved, chooses the manage and the most effective process and tools, stimulate participation, message and content in terms of level, types of consistency, and ensure effective according to the result. And the next is facilitating meeting. Meeting design is the deliberate act of planning and preparing for meeting ahead of time, which follow a process includes certain key elements. Meeting facilitation is a conscious act of guiding the meeting process so that it stay on course to make sure everyone participate and to reach the agreed upon meeting goal. Types of meetings. There are two types of meetings. Formal meetings. A formal meeting is a pre-arranged meeting between two or more people which takes place for the purpose of achieving a common state objective. Takes place of designated date, time and location. Follow a clear meeting agenda is recorded in meeting minutes to recount discussion, vote in action items. Informal meeting is a meeting which is far less heavily planned and regulated than a formal business meeting, and so lack many of the defining features of a formal business meeting, such as a minutes, a chairperson, and sit agenda.
Decision making meetings. These are called when an action needs to be taken by a group. Problem solving meetings. These are used when a group needs to come together to solve a specific problem. Team building meetings. These meetings are used to build cohesion within a group and improve the way team members work together. Brainstorming meetings. These are used to generate new ideas or make links between novel or innovative concepts. 7 kinds of meeting. One-on-one meetings. This is a meeting scheduled between two people to discuss something specific. Quarterly planning meetings. Held every 3 months, these are used to plan how a team will execute the company's goal. Check-in meetings. These meetings are used to monitor task progress against an unexpected outcome. 10 meeting facilitation techniques to improve your skills. Number 1. Begin your meetings with a quick check-in. Check-ins encourage everyone in the room to focus on the meeting and each other. Number 2. Review desired outcomes and agenda items. Ideally, you will have sent out the meeting agenda in advance so everyone knows the purpose of the meeting. If you haven't, or if it's an impromptu meeting, Weekly work with participants to define what success will look like by the meeting's end. A brief review of the desired outcomes and agenda items gets the group aligned toward accomplishing the meeting goal. Number 3, assign meeting roles. It's okay, even advisable, for a facilitator to ask others to take on different roles like note taker and timekeeper. Providing meeting participants with opportunities to help creates a communal responsibility to make the meeting a success. Remember to rotate the roles each meeting so that everyone can participate in different ways over time. Number 4, practice active listening. According to facilitation expert Terence Smith, active listening includes 4 steps. First is contact. Listen to each participant attentively and reinforce what is being said by maintaining eye contact or nonverbal responses. Second, absorb. Take in what each person says as well as their body language without judgment or evaluation. Third is feedback. Paraphrase and summarize what the speaker says back to the speaker. And lastly is confirm. Get confirmation from the speaker that you understand their points accurately. Number 5, take stock. When multiple participants want to speak at the same time, manage the process by jotting down the names of people who have something to say and letting each individual speak, one at a time, without interruption. Check each name off until everyone who wants to speak has done so. Number 6, synthesize the main themes to reframe the conversation. Sometimes, several different conversation themes emerge simultaneously in a meeting. When this happens, the facilitator needs to get everyone on the same page before moving forward. Ask the participants to take a step back, name the various topics, and decide with the participants which ones to pursue. Alternatively, you can provide suggestions for narrowing the conversation or organizing themes so that the meeting stays on track to achieve the desired goals. You can also ask the note taker to record remaining topics in the back burner for the team to revisit at a different time. Number 7, pause and allow for reflection. Once the main subject has emerged, pause and provide time for silent reflection. Ideally, ask participants to write down their thoughts to help internalize what's been said and to identify concerns or questions free of the influence of others' opinions. Number 8, encourage and balance participation. The facilitator should always be aware that some group members may be less vocal than others, and their voices are still important. The facilitator should create a safe space for them to engage. Ask open-ended questions to draw people out, like, what do you think? What would you do? And what others' idea are you considering? Establishing meeting norms also helps. Number 9, take a break and re-energize. When the energy in the room is low or when people become restless, take short breaks. Longer meetings require even more break time. A mental break is especially helpful for introverts who need to recharge from a lot of talking. In addition, consider leading a quick stretching activity to help people feel physically and mentally refreshed. And last, provide closure. At the end of the meeting, be sure that all decisions, tasks, and next steps are documented in detail so everyone knows how to follow through. Restating the key outcomes verbally helps the group feel a sense of accomplishment. Asking participants to verbally check out gives people a space to express final questions or concerns and creates meeting closure.
Now, I'm going to discuss about the focus group discussion. So first, what is focus group discussion? So, a focus group discussion involves gathering people from similar backgrounds or experiences together to discuss a specific topic of interest. It is a form of qualitative research where questions are asked about their perception, attitude, belief, opinion, or ideas. In focus group discussion, participants are free to talk with other group members. Unlike other research methods, it encourages discussion with other participants. It generally involves group interviewing in which a small group of usually 8 to 12 people. It is led by a moderator or interviewer in a closely structured discussion of various topics of interest. So, moving on, we have here how to organize a focus group discussion. So we have 5 steps to organize focus group discussion. So first, we have welcome the focus group participants. So first, you will want to welcome the participants in the focus group and introduce yourself and other researchers who may be present. This step is important as it establish rapport with a group and build trust. So, second, we have the participant introduce themselves. This this does a few things. It continues building rapport among the group members, and it is confirms the pronunciation of everyone's names. You don't want to spend the next hour or more together saying everyone's names incorrectly. So third, we have establish someone grounds rules for the group. So before asking question, establish some ground rules for the group. Take this moment to clarify any concerns such as if a topic become controversial, let that be known and set boundaries for how far a discussion can go. Second, if you'll be asking for information that is not normally shared in a group setting, assure the cohort that the finding would have names or identifying data attached to the responses. And third, if your company is reimbursing expenses or providing payment for the focus group participants, let them know how and when they receive their disbursement. So, number 4, in how to uh, organize focus group discussion, we have ask question methodically rather. So now here's the fun part. Although you may have one broad topic to discuss during the focus group, you likely have several subtopics that need to address separately. Structure your question in such a way that the flow of the conversation makes sense. This could be the theme, chronological order, or the current future state of your business or that topic that you're going to discuss. So last in the how to organize the focus group discussion, we have wrap up final thoughts. Once you've reached a stopping point during the conversation, wrap up by lingering question and ideas within the group. And finally, thank everyone for the time and end the session. So that's the step on how to organize the focus group discussion. Moving on, we have here how to run a focus group. So first, we have here choose your topic of discussion. Going into focus group, your discussion should be narrowed down to one or a few topics. Keep in mind that you won't be able to thoroughly address every area you want to discuss in one short focus group session. Second, we have here choose your question or discussion prompts. Once you determine the topic of discussion for your focus group, create a list of question and discussion prompts that will help you gather the data you need. So, number 3, prepare your focus group questionnaire. After you've chosen question and discussion prompts, organize them on a focus group questionnaire. Be sure to leave enough space on the questionnaires for overall notes, a list of common response, and one or two noteworthy responses that really stood out. So, fourth, we have appoint a note taker. Your focus group discussion should be facilitated by at least one person, while another person on your team should be a designated note taker. So fifth, we have recruit and schedule participants. So one of the most challenging parts of running a focus group is getting people to actually show up after you select a time and a place. you will want to start spreading the word to participants. So, sixth, we have get consent and start the discussion. Before you start your focus group discussion, remind participants of the purpose of the group and hand out a consent form. The consent form should reiterate the purpose of the event, outline the participant rights, identify the compensation list, the facilitators, contact information, and prompt participants to sign.
Number 7, have everyone introduce themselves to break the ice and get people talking. Start in decision of by introducing yourself and inviting the participant to do the same. This is another chance for you to learn more about your target market. In addition to having participants say their names, consider asking them to share their industry or interest to get a more personal understanding to how your product, service, or business could play a role in their everyday lives. Number 8, ask your question. Remember, this is not an interview. Before the focus group begins, you should prepare a list of 5 to 10 questions. To begin said, it can be easy to tie yourself to your list of question or discussion points, but sticking too closely to this can hamper natural and effective conversation. If the group takes slightly different turn than you were expecting, don't be afraid to allow the conversation to work, of course, of if it seems too productive. Number 9, seek equal presentation from the group. Your sessions involve in an entire group of people, so you have to make sure you hear from each and every one of them. That may seem obvious, but a focus group can quickly turn into an interview of one or two of the most talkative members.
Number 10, end the meeting with a reasonable amount of time. Exhaustion and the law of diminishing returns are real, so keep them in mind when planning the time frame for your focus group. At the start of the session, in your advertisement, and or on your consent form, you should specify how long the focus group will last. It's your responsibility to moderate the discussion in a way that ensures the time frame is not exceeded. Number 11, analyze and incorporate feedback. Ideally, your focus group has provided you with plenty of responses, unique angles, and actionable ideas to help your business thrive. After all of your focus group have taken place, have your team compile and analyze the commonalities of the ideas presented and what changes, if any, are applicable to the product, service, or business in question. You have a step-by-step guide for conducting a focus group. Let's take a look at a real-world application of one.